interest once more. You know, it was only a few weeks ago that it seemed a new deal for him here was relatively close. Are you now resigned to thinking that you're not going to reach a compromise with him over a deal?
Not between now and the end of the season. I think it's been made clear by Raheem's representative and the boy himself. He just wants to concentrate on his football and then see what can be resolved in the summer. With
other clubs, though, seemingly able to offer a greater financial package, does that leave you worried about the situation?
That's all speculation, Benny. It's something that we can't worry ourselves on. The boy's happy here, and like I said, I repeat, if you have the interest of the kid and his football development, you'll see at this stage of his career this is the best place for him to be. So, but I'm sure that'll be resolved, and as I said, the concentration for Raheem now is on his football, and as I said, it's clear in terms of when those talks will begin again.
Brendan, with Liverpool, your side, 13 matches unbeaten in the Premier League, some of your key players in top form as well. Could you be in any better shape heading into this game?
Well, we've got real good momentum. I think that we've shown over the last 3 months the qualities that we have clearly in the team. You know, that perseverance, the character in the side, and ultimately the quality that we have. So, but we've had to work very hard. It's not something that's just clicked our fingers. It's something that we've had to analyse and work hard on the training field, and obviously the players then take that into the game. But they deserve a huge amount of credit for that, as I said, the resilience and the focus that they've shown over this last 3 months when we didn't have the good start. But we arrive into the game knowing that it'll be a difficult game for us. You know, Manchester United coming off the back of a good performance. But when we play at Anfield in particular, we're very confident, and as I said, we'll look to take that confidence that we've shown in the last 3 months into this game and hopefully continue with that momentum.
Clearly there's been a lot said about your development since the game at Old Trafford, but in terms of United, what development have you seen in them since that game at Old Trafford in December?
Well, listen, look, they've been up there right the way through the season, you know, so and what they have got is they've got top class players, they've got a world class manager who's been around a long time, but even he will, I'm sure, say that, you know, coming into the Barclays Premier League is different to where he's worked before. You know, the challenges that arrive here when you come into this country, the competition is far greater. But for them, they'll look to, as they continue to stay in that top four, and for us, the challenge is to get above them and the teams that are in that top four.
With your decision with Steven Gerrard, is it even more difficult because this is potentially the last time he could face Manchester United in a game to decide whether he's going to be in the starting lineup or not?
No, it's very simple. I think we me and Steven, and I've got to say, I think it's been really unfair on the boy. Now, this is a guy who's been a wonderful player, and when he was out, and still is a wonderful player, let's make that clear, but when he was out injured, I think we had people trying to sensationalise a story about him, maybe will he get in the team, will he not get in the team. Steven was unfit, he was injured, and people are trying to write him off and he's not even back fit. So he's back fit now, he's available, and I can tell you now, and it's maybe not the story that you want, but he's a guy who is totally committed to the team. He's a fan of this football club, first and foremost. He's like any other player, of course he would like to play, but his support for guys like Jordan Henderson, Joe Wallen, that are in the team, his support to them has been fantastic. And his support to me as a captain has been incredible. So lots of stories going about, I see and read, people trying to, you know, predict the team, not the team. The poor guy wasn't even fit. He's lay on his treatment table getting treatment, trying to get back for the benefit of the team. And anyone who knows him will know he's a selfless guy who puts the team first, and and that's the way how it is. And he's back now fighting to play. He's going to have a big part in our season between now and, as I said, our very last game. And as I said, a wonderful, wonderful player, a great captain who I think maybe some are trying to make a story on him, a negative story, which couldn't be further from the truth.
Thank you.
So has that been a quite frustrating time for you and him these last couple of months then, with all the speculation, and you talk about certain stories about his situation here?
No, not frustrating. I think it's just, as I said, I just find it unfair for him. You know, I think he's been out injured for a period of time. I think people are trying to look and see, well, the team are doing better when he's not playing. Well, that's not the case. You know, he was part of a team when we were winning games. You know, so as I said, he's been out fit and trying to get back for the team, and he is back now. So I think now he's very much committed, as he has always has been, to helping the team. And you've seen, even when he doesn't play, doesn't start, he came off the bench the other night and put in a great performance that stabilised the team, gave the calmness to the team and the quality to the team. And that's what he'll continue to do. Every single day of his life, he works his socks off. I've seen it in my time in coaching with players when they're not playing. They're great when they're playing. Fantastic when they're playing, great professionals. When they're not playing, the attitude is different. Never Steven Gerrard. Playing or not playing, you get an unbelievable application and professionalism to his football life. And as I said, he's a wonderful ambassador for this club and a great role model for the players. So he's fit, which I said last week was great. He's available, and whether he starts or whether he comes off the bench, he's got a big role to play for us between now and the end of the season.
You touched on the challenge of getting into the top four just a few moments ago. The last time you played Manchester United, you were 7 places, 10 points behind them. You've caught up on them. You've got an opportunity to go above them now, should you win at the weekend. Does that just represent the turnaround that Liverpool has had in these last couple of months or so?
It does, but there's still a lot of work to do. You know, we found the solutions to the issues that we had at the beginning of the season, and you know, players are playing with great confidence now, and as I said, they're very comfortable in the way of working. So we had another stiff test during the week on Monday. Swansea played very, very well in the first half. We had to show a different side. Our positioning just wasn't quite right in order to press the ball, and it shows when if it's not quite on. It was probably one of the first games where, in terms of that intensity of the press, wasn't quite there. But thankfully, we come out the second half and we reversed the flow of the game. The flow of the game was much better for us second half, and as like I said, shows that even when we don't play so well, we've got the resilience and then the quality to see through.
Brandon, if you look back to Old Trafford in December, I think the 3-0 scoreline certainly flattered United, and you'd already changed the structure of the team. How difficult has it been, or how difficult is it to ride criticism? You know, you've been beaten 3-0 against your arch rivals. How difficult to maintain your own beliefs? And there's got to be an element of stubbornness somewhere along the line. It's just getting that sort of balance, and you know, when you're getting criticism left, right and centre, you put your tin hat on.
You said it.
No, but how does it work for you?
Well, no, I think you've got to. I've said to the players, and it applies, I said, to managers and coaches the same. You know, however the criticism comes, deserved or undeserved, you won't like it, but you have to accept it. It's a part of the game. You know, earlier on in the year, we'd beaten Manchester United 3-0 at Old Trafford, and we were outstanding. But I think what you take as a coach and a manager, you understand the circumstance of where you're at. That won't fit with the reports and the results, of course, but it's quite easy. You just got to stay focused, have an inherent belief in how I work. So that, you know, and that comes from many years of coaching and travelling up and down the country and going on various courses and travelling around the world. So I have an inherent belief in how I work. And of course, when it's scrutinised and looked at and ridiculed, then of course you go back to that platform of why and how you work. So, but you know you're going to get it at some stage. And of course, in your career, it's important that you come out of it the other side and you can become a better manager for it. And of course I'm very early in my career as a manager, and certainly that period there really benefited me. So, but of course you need to work well, you need to get the belief back into your players and back into the team, and we did that. So, but certainly it's the challenges of being a manager at any level, not just the top level. You're scrutinised, obviously, and the spotlight's on you, but you just got to stay calm and believe in your qualities as a coach or a manager.
If you look at United, they've been in the top 4 or 5 for much of the campaign, but they're not firing on all cylinders. If you look at the attacking talent that they have, when they do fire, they're going to be a really, really dangerous side, aren't they? And you've got to suppose that could happen on Sunday, and not be lulled into some false sense of security.
Well, I don't think you can be. I think that, as you say, they've got a lot of talent and a big investment in the summer in terms of bringing in world-class players. And as I said, they've got an outstanding manager who's there. So, but as I said, they've been up there all season. They will be up there wanting to stay in there. And for us, it's we've got to stay on the chase and look to get the results. So, but I don't worry about them clicking. I think that, as I said, they've had a good performance in the last performance against Tottenham and a good result. But Anfield's a different game. It's a different game. It's a different intensity, and we'll look to bring that into Sunday's game.
Brendan, spoken about the managerial difficulties maybe you've had, but Van Gaal at Man United, what have you made of what he's done so far this season? Because there appears to be sort of some convincing that people feeling that his sort of quality.
No, I don't think there's any convincing neither. I think he's shown over his career that he's a top class manager. I think he'll have seen, and coming into this country for the first time, the challenges of this football. This is why it's the most competitive watch league in the world. The competition in it is fierce. It's very, very difficult. You know, if you've had your career in the Barclays Premier League, it's different to the leagues that he'll have walked in before. But I don't think you can argue about his credentials. Absolutely not. You know, the philosophies he's put in place throughout his life. You know, Ajax and Barcelona, and he's at Alkmaar. His achievements. You know, I don't think you can. There's no question. You know, if he left Man United, whenever he does, he still will have been one of the great managers. So I don't think there's a question about that.
So how do you assess how he's done? So what bearing in mind the job he's had to do this season, how do you assess the job he's done?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think, and I'm sure he's not too bothered what I think.
And this week, 4 players named in the England squad. How have discussions been with England that, in terms of training regime and things like that?
Sorry, I've got nothing for you on that.
Squad-wise, how are you?
Good, yeah. Obviously, Lucas Leiva back, and which is great. So 1 or 2 other players returning. So now the squad's strong and good condition.
Are you okay now?
Yeah, he was ill, been off for 9 days. So we just started to train the last couple of days, but feeling much better.
Thank you.
So Lucas contention for Sunday? Too early.
We'll assess him tomorrow and see where he's at. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Match Day Live on LFC TV. It's the only place to be before kick-off.
Aha. Oh.